Hey everyone, it's Dr. Danielle Clark. You are here with the Win-Win Women Network. Today's episode is focused on turning pain into purpose. This is a live show. We're here Fridays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find the URL on my website at drdanielleclark.com. No worries at all. If you're receiving this in the replay, it is the same good information and the same good energy. If you're new to me, I'm a business professor. I am a psychic medium, intuitive life coach, spiritual teacher, cat mama, human mama, dog mama, wife, and so much more. Onwards with Dr. Danielle is all about offering you healing conversations to get you unstuck. And so it is. Turning our pain into purpose. Turning our pain into purpose. Yeah, yes, please. Yes, please. It's such a beautiful, empowering concept, especially when we're in the thick of our hurt, the thick of our grief, the thick of our anger. It feels as though it doesn't serve a purpose. Oftentimes we're asking why, right? Why? Maybe even coming from a place of feeling like a victim. Why me? And just knowing there's the potential for us to take whatever it is that's hurting us, that betrayal, that grief, that loathing, whatever it is, for us to be able to rewrite the story, I think is magnificent. I think it's what makes this human experience worth it, right? Where we are writing our own stories and just remembering we have that power, I hope ignites you to get curious about how you can create purpose from your pain. And if nothing else from our little chat today, I do want you to lean into the concept of curiosity, because I feel like curiosity is really the special ingredient to making sure that your pain has purpose. What I see oftentimes working with clients is sometimes they get a little too focused on linear paths when they are recovering from something. Dad died from a heart attack, and I am going to start volunteering at the American Heart Association, which is great, of course, right? Beautiful. And I get that. And sometimes we need that instant connection, that instant way to make the pain have purpose. But I'd also encourage you to get curious and not necessarily think about everything in a linear fashion. If something hard has happened to you, if you are experiencing the world has been ripped from you moment, whether it's a job, a relationship, the loss of a loved one, there might be so many other teaching lessons there that aren't necessarily linear. And when we have this fierce need to control something, right? Dad died from a heart attack. I'm going to all of a sudden put all of my energy and time into volunteering for the Heart Association. What we can do is we can lose some of the flow and potential the universe wants to send us. So get curious, and to get curious when you're experiencing pain, things like journaling is really, really good. Meditation, really, really good. Sometimes just giving yourself a rest month, a rest year, right? Not feeling like you have to do something immediately will build the curiosity. Asking yourself questions like, how have I changed since blah, blah, blah happened, right? And seeing where things are shifting for you that might not be so linear. Now, you've come here, you want to create some purpose from your pain. You also need to heal. And healing's not linear either. Doesn't mean you need to be fully healed. You might never be fully healed, whatever that is, right? But you need to go on your healing journey. Again, I work with many clients, life coaching, mediumship, and sometimes they are putting their anger and their grief into almost vengeance, I would say, or spite or ego. And it's short-term fulfilling, in a sense. You're going to prove somebody wrong. Maybe somebody hurt you, right? I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to do this to hurt this person, right? Be cautious of that, because that isn't taking your pain and giving it true purpose, right? Yeah, be careful of that and heal. And whatever healing looks like for you, maybe it's going to therapy, maybe it's spending time outdoors more than you are now, maybe it's starting to ride horses, maybe it's starting to play violin, whatever it is. Maybe it's cutting things out of your life, right? Eating better, cutting the nasty stuff out. Maybe it's stopping smoking, drinking, right? Whatever healing is, focus on that, because what you want to do is you want to get yourself to your true self, right? That the best version of yourself, right? And we're always working towards that and, uncovering ourselves. But when you find yourself at a beautifully neutral place, a place of calm, a place of contentment, a place of peace, a place of understanding, a place of acceptance, then we can really explore this concept of purpose, right? Because we're coming at it from our higher self. But if we're coming to this concept of purpose from ego or from a gripping or vengeance, it's not what we're looking for. And it's not that true healing. And what we do want is that true healing, right? And whatever led us to this path, we want to learn and we want to heal and we want to move forward. And we want to create a new narrative, a narrative that we can be proud of, a narrative that gives us some peace. And so really play with curiosity. And very similar is leaning into the concept of perspective. What is the story you're telling yourself about whatever it is you're going through? Get curious about that and see how you can reframe. See how you can reframe, especially if you're putting limiting beliefs on yourself, especially if your narrative is closed-minded, right? My girlfriend dumped me because I'm unlovable. Let's change the perspective, right? Our relationship ended because it wasn't meant to be, and I'm excited to see what happens next, right? Little perspective, little reframing can do wonders to open up that curiosity. What is this all about? So I lost my job several years ago unexpectedly, and it rocked my world. I was not expecting to lose my job, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I had so much ego, so much identity tied into this job. And I lose my job and I don't know who I am and I don't know why this has happened. I was fantastic at my job. I had received several awards and my students adored me, and I had my 2 graduate degrees from this college and saw myself there for years to come. And I lose my job unexpectedly. And I don't even have words for it. I don't even have words for it. I realize I have unhealed trauma that I had never dealt with, that I am navigating imposter syndrome, that my marriage needs some rehabbing. Like all of this stuff, my dark night of the soul, comes from me losing a job. And I did ask that, why is this happening to me? I'm sure I even did the I don't deserve this, right? Like, why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. And I will tell you, I am so proud of the way I was able to experience this job loss, because it gave me so much. It gave me so much. I slowed down. I didn't start looking for a job immediately. I really leaned into my soul and my mind and my past. I started journaling. I started using affirmations. I started having hard but necessary conversations with my family, my friends, my husband. I started making changes in my life. And if it wasn't for that job loss, I wouldn't be here talking to you, literally. It was what was the catalyst, the spark for me going on a spiritual journey. It was what sparked me to reconnect a relationship with a medium I had been working with and talking with my dad in heaven. I tried my hand at Reiki for the first time and got certificates in Reiki and integrated energy therapy. I spontaneously adopted my 5-year-old Charlie, my yellow lab. And there's so many blessings. And when I look back at that very scary time, it was so hard for me losing my job. I had experienced emotional trauma, physical trauma, and sexual trauma all before the ages of 15. And I'll tell you, losing my job was harder than all of those things combined. And looking back on it, it's because I had put all my trauma into work, right? Proving I wasn't a victim, proving I wasn't broken, but I was, I was. And so I share this story with you, my job loss story, because by me getting curious, what is happening, right? What is happening? And me taking some needed rest and relaxation time, right? Staying in bed, slow walks in the morning, not rushing to get another job. I was able to receive signs and synchronicities and support from the universe and do the deep healing, right? It wasn't just about getting a job, that linear thinking, lost the job, have to get a new job, right? It was a bigger opportunity. So how can you give yourself rest and relaxation and flip the narrative, right? Maybe it's not just the loss of a loved one or a friend, right? Maybe the door is opening to other things. And I am the psychic medium I am today because of losing that job. If I had just went right back to work and didn't live in that dark for a bit, I don't think my spiritual gifts would have awoken when and how they did. And so many blessings to you. And no, it's not all going to make sense. It's not all going to make sense, right? So when I lost my job, it was really interesting. I didn't have a big spiritual backbone, if you will. And metaphysical books weren't my go-to at the time, but I lost my job and just instantly my soul is like hungry for metaphysical books on mediumship and the universe. And I had no idea why, right? I'm like, how does a job loss? I'm a left brainer, analytical business professor, right? You know, how does a job loss, my personality and wanting mediumship connect? And I didn't know at the time, but I honored my intuition. I honored my intuition. I want you to honor your intuition too. And I honored it. And then as the puzzle pieces started to connect, about a year and a half later, I open up my spiritual abilities where I can connect to the departed and I can connect to higher beings and power sources. So yeah, sometimes you're just not gonna know where the pain leads you, and really know that. And that's where some faith can come in, right? Making sure that your pain has purpose. It's a great time to lean into your faith, whatever that means for you, right? Just strengthening your connection of source, of God, of power, what can be, who and what is there to support you, and how does it feel? That can really, really help as well. And so once we've done some of the healing, And once we've sat in the muck of it, yeah, let's continue to take some action, continue to take action. Oftentimes, I say this often, but it's so important for you to know, oftentimes it's the healers that are hurt over and over again in this lifetime, so we can heal others. They're important lessons that we need to learn, so that way we can heal ourselves, to get ourselves to a point where we're strong enough, where we're love-filled enough, where we're bright enough to help others. And it gives us empathy, right? So the more hard experiences we've gone through, whether it's death, whether it's rejection, once we can have that shared language with others, it just helps us be better at what we're being. So how can you be the healer? Look at your pain as an invitation. You were given this opportunity to learn about yourself, to go inward and heal yourself. And how can you give that to the world? It doesn't have to be linear. Sometimes we go through something big and we write about it. That's my story. My story, Shift Happens, a memoir of a spiritual awakening, is a little bit about what I told you. It's about my spiritual awakening journey, about me losing my job and all of the things that opened me up to. But it doesn't mean you need to write a book, right? It doesn't have to be linear. Maybe you're going through your pain, and then maybe it makes you a better mom. Maybe it sparks you to start an arts and craft project that you've never done before. Maybe it sparks you to volunteer, but to volunteer with something wildly different than whatever the pain came from. It doesn't have to be linear, but think about, what can you do new? What can you do new? It can be little micro changes along your everyday path, or it could be big things. Maybe you're going to move, right? And start anew, which is what I did. We ended up, me and my family, we ended up moving to Florida from Massachusetts. I accepted a job down in Florida, right? So just think about it. Think about, okay, I need to do things differently if I want this to feel different, right? I need to do things different if I'm going to give this a new narrative. But it doesn't necessarily have to be big, and it doesn't need to be outward, right? Maybe you're inspired to read more. That's an inward pleasure. It helps you, and it helps the world, right? Because you're more grounded, you're more educated, right? But it doesn't necessarily always mean that you have to go 100 miles per hour and give purpose to others. Just giving yourself purpose naturally feeds the world. The more grounded you are, the more inspired you are, whatever you're doing, whether you're showing up with your hobby or your job or your kids, it matters. And so I want to scrap that limiting belief. If you're feeling like, I need to take charge, and maybe you do, right? Maybe you do. We're all at different paths, but no, it can be little steps and big, big things. And with that, my dears, I just want to remind you, it is the cracks in your heart that let the light shine through. I'm sending you love and light. I will not say sorry that you're in your pain, because I believe it serves a tremendous purpose. I believe in your soul, and I believe everything is going to unfold in perfect timing. I am sending you strength. I am sending you perspective. I am sending you focus. I am sending you the self-discipline and the self-love that you need to make this journey yours. And always remember, you're in the driver's seat. If there's anything I can do to help you along your healing journey, let me know. Be well. Bye.